That means whatever consciousness you enter into, stay there until you leave that town. Now, some of us, we go into a group of people and we realize right away, I'm not in my right place. So we leave immediately. But sometimes people get lazy, and so they surround themselves with people that don't expect much from them. They surround themselves with people that don't have any great self-image of their own, so they can feel better because they're around people that they see as not doing much more of their life with their life than they are with theirs, so they feel okay and not doing anything with their own life. We want to leave that consciousness. Leave it. Leave it right away. Leave all the falsities away. Leave all the lies away. Leave all the excuses away. Leave all the blame and the shame. Leave all that stuff behind. That is the stuff of the world. That is the stuff of the world. Leave it behind. Leave that town, the radical Jesus says. And people do not welcome you, leave their town and shake the dust off your feet. That means off your feet. Feet means soul. That means shake it out of your consciousness and let yourself know that you don't look to anyone outside of you. You don't look to anything outside of you to validate your self-image, to validate who you are and what you're about, to validate what you are to do, to be, or to have. That is between you and God. That is a contract with you and the Almighty to do the thing that you are to do. So when you align yourself with a greater purpose, with a greater idea, with a greater good, you're in alignment with God. You're in total alignment with God. And so you know that you can move on, and you can move on with confidence. You can move on in faith. You can move on hoping and knowing that only the good will come to you and only good will go forth from you, and therefore you know that you are living in a God-filled, Spirit-filled, self-fulfilled life. So we know and we accept and we believe and we know right now in this moment that everything necessary will show up. So take that idea that comes to you, take that idea that you know is just going to make you feel good about life, and you just rolls through you like enthusiasm, just rolls through your mind enthusiastically, and you feel the excitement and you feel the energy of it. You say, this is mine to do, this is mine to have, this is mine to be. When you know that and you make that decision to do it, to be it, or to have it, everything shows up. But we must know it within ourselves. We must know it. We must never doubt. We must never worry. We must never be concerned, because it is always the Father that doeth the work. The Father works, and then I work, the radical Jesus said. That means we get the idea, this law of attraction, this law that we work with every day, this thing that responds to the good idea that we have in our mind and the enthusiasm that we have for it, this decision that we have made. The law moves heaven and earth to bring forth everything necessary to make that appear in our experience. And through love, we're guided and directed. We're given the idea. All that givingness of the Spirit, all that the Father hath is mine, the Mastermind Jesus said. But we don't accept more good out of fear. We don't accept more good out of doubt. We don't accept more good out of worry. We're so afraid to take the great job because we don't want to lose the job we have. Even though we may not be happy in that job, we want that paycheck every week. We may not leave the bad relationship and open ourselves up for a good relationship because we've just been doing that same old relationship for such a long time that we don't know if anybody else would want us, have us, or want to be with us. So we want to know within our mind, we want to cultivate and foster the idea that we're living right now. We're living right now in this spiritual universe. We are spirit having a human experience, and that when we align ourselves with the power and the presence of God, take nothing with you for the journey, the Mastermind Jesus said. When we take nothing with us for the journey but our faith and our hope and the decision and commitment that we've made to a greater good, we shall not fail. We want to remind ourselves every day, there's no failure in God, there's no failure in me. God does not worry. God's not concerned. That G-O-D thing within me, that Christ which strengthens me, which aligns me with the Spirit, that power and presence of faith and confidence and hope and commitment to the good will outpicture in my life in the right and perfect time. That which I am to do best only my Maker can teach me, wrote the great Emerson, and these powerful words are the truth for every one of us. But God cannot make a decision for us. We must make our own decisions, and we must make our own commitments to these decisions. God works through these activities in our mind for us, through us. And so our question is, do I resolve to move on, to be more, to do more, to have more, to experience more of the good that the divine has prepared for me? Am I ready to accept that the desires of my heart are God's desires for me? Do I believe that? Do I accept that? Am I ready to make a commitment to the choices and decisions that are mine and mine alone to make? Am I ready to do that? Am I ready to not look at the world for anything but accept only the idea, the truth, that God has prepared this thing for me, and that's why this desire has come into my heart. That's why I'm compelled to do this thing. That's why I feel that impulse to move on and accept a greater good. Do I believe that is the Spirit working through me? And if we don't believe it's the Spirit working through us, then what in the heaven do we believe it is? What in the heaven do we believe it is? There's only God, there's only good. If we go back and we remind ourselves, and I do this all the time, every day, besides me, there is none other. That's what God said to Isaiah, revealed it through the mind of Isaiah. Besides me, there is none other. Do I believe in that, or do I believe in the nothingness? Do I believe in that which has no real power? Do I believe in that which is only temporary? Do I believe in that which only came from the mind of man rather than the mind of God? Which one do I believe in? Take nothing for the journey but the principle. Depend on principle, not person, place, or thing. As Dr. Mark Barker writes, everyone is mind in action with the potentials for greatness awaiting our demand that they shall come forth out of the depths of consciousness and begin creative action. Let's look at that again. Everyone is mind, that means spirit. Everyone is spirit in action with the potentials for greatness awaiting our demand that they shall come forth out of the depths of our consciousness, that means out of the depths of our soul, and begin creative action. We have the power of decision always. We have the power of decision always. If people do not welcome you, leave their town. That means leave it. If people do not welcome you, leave them. If your job doesn't compensate you well, leave it. If people around you are always just harassing you and trying to bring you down, leave them. If the people around you are filled with negativity, leave them. Dust off your feet, lift up your consciousness, and move on. Life is too short. Life is too short to live in an experience that is not filled with enthusiasm, to live in an experience that's not filled with joy and peace of mind. Let the idea come into your mind that the only image about yourself that you'll ever be concerned with is whether you are living in that image and likeness of God, whether you are living in the image and the likeness of peace and harmony and joy and love and beauty and all things wonderful, because that's what God is and that's what we are. We are in the image and the likeness of God. It was the mission of Jesus to reveal the spiritual to the physical, to lift up the physical to the spiritual. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believe me, we must believe him, shall not abide in darkness. It doesn't matter if we say we love Jesus, but we don't believe him. It doesn't matter if we say we love Jesus, but we won't let go of our fear, we won't let go of our worry. It doesn't matter if we say I embrace the Buddha, but I'm afraid to leave my job for a better job because I'm afraid of unemployment. It doesn't matter if we say I love Krishna, but I'm afraid to sing my own song, to sing my own good, to talk about my own abilities and skills and all that I have to offer the world, and live in a life of humble and modesty that just holds us back into poverty and loneliness and failure and discord. We don't want to get into any of those things. Every great person that's ever spoke to us from the depths of their soul, the Buddha, the Krishna, Jesus, Moses, Isaiah, all the men who wrote the Gospels, they're all singing this song to us to lift up our spirit, to sing a song of the Spirit, to lift up our spirit into happiness and peace and joy and love and harmony and beauty. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me today. This is A Way to a Wonderful Life. This is Reverend Dr. Henry Lee Bates, and I want to tell you the science of mind, the evolutionary science of mind, the philosophy of the mastermind Jesus is the way. It's the way to a wonderful life. Once again, it's been my great pleasure to have you with me today, and